I'm Hal Humphreys, and this is your weekly briefing from PI Education and Pursuit magazine. And you'll notice we're back in the studio. We have been working out of the home studio for about a year now, actually a full year now. We haven't set foot in this room in over a year. We're living in some strange times right now. Coronavirus seems to be taking over the world. There's going to be a significant health impact and a not insignificant economic impact. As investigators, we have to find ways to serve our clients and do the things we do. And at the same time, we've got to find a way to make money. There's work you can do from home, from your office, without getting out into the general public. You can even interview witnesses on the phone. I know it's not ideal, but I think everybody would appreciate a phone call these days as opposed to a knock on the door. We've learned some new ways to do business over the past year. It was a difficult year, but I think one of the things we bring out of this is we've learned new ways to work. Some people have learned to do telephone interviews instead of in-person interviews, and that's not always a bad thing. The pandemic has forced us as investigators to think about other ways to make money as investigators, and that's one of the good things to come out of this past year. Personally, I had to make some changes with my business. The overwhelming majority of the work I do is criminal defense work, and most of that work is here in Tennessee and in Texas. I had to travel all the time for that work. I know a lot of people have traveled anyway and been totally fine, but we made the decision that I was not going to travel until we got our vaccines. So that one thing kept me from doing a lot of the work that I normally do. The second thing is, a lot of the criminal court cases have been put on hold. They've been put off and put off and put off. So the work just hasn't been there to do. So I made a conscious decision to shift focus from doing so much criminal defense work to doing more of the due diligence work. I reactivated my real estate appraisal license. I started marketing myself as an expert witness in fraud-related areas, and that has been one of the best decisions I've made business-wise in a long time. And I can guarantee you I would not have made that decision had it not been for the pandemic and the way it hit us personally and financially. So Kim Green, the editor at Pursuit magazine, put together a survey. She did one last year just as the pandemic was starting to really take hold and impact everybody's life. She did one again this year, asking investigators how their lives, how their work has been impacted by the pandemic. And it's really interesting, some of the responses we've gotten back. One of the questions she asked was, were there any surprise revelations for you this year? The good kind, lessons learned, shifts in priorities. One respondent says, stuff is stuff, people are important. Let me ask you, please send me a summary of the survey, old buddy. That's kind of the relationship we have with the investigator crowd, is people feel comfortable talking to Kim and talking to me through social media feeds. And of course, we will publish this survey data in Pursuit magazine as soon as we get all the responses in. But we're not going to do that until you've signed up and logged in and answered the questions, because we want to get really good feedback from a lot of investigators around the world. Another respondent says, I fell in love with criminal defense work. I've also been able to network with more women in the field and no longer feel so alone in a world full of retired male law enforcement. This is another example of one of the things that people have noticed by being kind of stuck in their office and stuck in their house and having to do Zoom meetings and those kind of things. The networking opportunities have actually increased a bit. I posted a poll on Twitter last night and suggested some things that we can do as private investigators to get together and share ideas. PI Education, Pursuit magazine, is this week going to host a virtual happy hour. The survey that Kim Green put together is still up on Pursuit Magazine. We'll post it to the social media feeds again today. If you get a chance, it would be a huge help to us and to the investigative industry to share how you've dealt with the past year, number one, and number two, what are you looking forward to moving forward? How have you changed the way you work moving forward? It takes about 7 minutes to finish a survey. It's not that much of a time commitment, and I think it'll be really helpful for investigators around the country and around the world to learn how you dealt with the pandemic and how you will deal going forward with your business. Again, I'm Hal Humphreys, coming to you from the home studios here at StoryboardEMP, PI Education, Pursuit Magazine, and I'm so very happy to be here. Let's look forward to a great year in 2021.